What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and welcome to another episode of our First Down Training show. Today, we're going to be talking about why so many kids quit football too early. So we're going to talk about some of the 5 things that make football players quit when they're younger, when they're in high school, etc. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's get started. Now, like I said, there are 5 reasons that players generally will quit football at a young age. Number 1 is going to be a coach will ruin it for them. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. So by coach ruining it for them, I mean a coach who's just a complete a-hole, not really constructive criticism, kind of puts the players down, says negative things at them, cusses at them, and that is going to upset anybody. Think about just meeting somebody in life, just in a regular setting, not even an athletic setting, and they're just a complete a-hole, total dick, you're not going to want to be around that person. It's going to piss you off a little bit, right? So imagine having to deal with a guy like that every single day at practice, and that can discourage a lot of players where they just end up hating football and then they quit, and they quit too early. Now, what I want to talk to you about is how you can deal with that, right? Because I'm not going to sit up here and be a freaking therapist and try to explain to coaches how they need to act and how they need to do certain things. Guys, this is part of life. Sometimes you're going to deal with people who are just extremely negative and extremely upset at just their life or whatever the case may be, and they feel better about themselves when they pull other people down. That's just honestly what it is. I think there's 2 ways you could go about it. One, you could try to have empathy for that person. That's what works for me whenever I come across a person who's just kind of mean and rude. I'm man, you live your life like that? That must suck, bro. I kind of feel bad for them because I know it's not going to affect me because I feel like how I feel about myself is pretty good and I enjoy what I'm doing every single day. I think of that with haters online. Every time I talk about haters, right? I get people all the time, every single day, comment and say the most negative things possible about myself, and I'm just generally trying to help out. I'm like, hey, what did I do? You know what I mean? What's going on? You don't even know me. But again, I think about it and I'm like, man, I think about how I am on social media. I would never even think to leave a negative comment. Even if I saw something that really bothered me, I would never leave a comment and attack somebody. So I think man, what kind of mental state are they really in? God, that must be tough, man, waking up like that. They must be going through something. So I feel bad for them a little bit. So maybe you go about it like that. Maybe you think about it like a coach is just really extremely rude, puts you down, says, and I'm not talking about you need to baby players or anything like that. You don't want that either as an athlete. You don't want a coach who's just oh, Johnny, it's okay. You're amazing. You did so good when you know you did bad. You don't want that either because that's not going to help you improve. But I'm talking about guys who just don't even coach. They just yell. They're just talking and they just put you down. So you could think about it like that and feel bad for them and be like, man, they must be going through something, and just kind of take it in stride and just, don't let it bother you. Or what I would say is just try to focus on how you respond to that. Because that's a lot of what life is. You know what I mean? I was reading a book the other day by David Goggins. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about that. And he was talking about his childhood. He had a really rough childhood. His father would beat the hell out of him. Really, really tough childhood. But he was talking about how listen, that situation wasn't my fault, but it is my responsibility in terms of how I respond to that situation. And I thought that made a lot of sense, especially for athletes, right? You get another player on another team who starts talking trash to you, again, why are you attacking me for? But you don't let that get to you. Your responsibility as an athlete is to stay focused. And how do you respond to that? You respond in a positive way because you either respond positive or negative, and responding negative has never worked. That's been proven. So when a coach is getting on you like that, what I recommend is just to try to stay, again, you can't control how anybody else feels. You can't control how anybody else acts. They're going to act that way or they're not going to act that way, but you can control how you act. And if you just understand that that guy's got some problems and that's the way he is, you could just be oh, just take it in stride. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to focus on my game, focus on getting better, and I'm not going to let that bother me. And I feel you will still love football, but when you let it get to you, you get pissed off, you get angry, you start acting out of impulse, you screw up on a play, you get pissed off and down on yourself. That's when guys start to hate football, man. So just don't let a coach steal your joy for the game. Understand that that's the way they feel. Let them feel that way. Understand how you feel is in your control, and you can always control how you feel. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that, you guys. So I hope that helps in your situation if you are in that situation. Now, second reason why I feel athletes will quit football too early is they don't know how to deal with adversity, and they're around a lot of people that don't know how to deal with adversity. Now, again, everything that I'm going to talk about in this video, you guys, is not just good for football. It's just good for life. Because life, you deal with a lot of negative stuff. And really what you do with failure, what you do with negativity defines who you are as a person. So I think a lot of athletes don't necessarily know how to handle adversity and handle when things go wrong. It's the whole like turning the scoreboard off culture. Like a team's losing, turn the scoreboard off. God forbid they see how bad they did. No, you want to see how bad you did because you learn from that. I know I keep talking about that situation, but it's like, it really pissed me off. It's like you turn the scoreboard off and you let oh, it's okay. It's fine. You didn't lose. Don't look at the scoreboard. No, I want to see the scoreboard. I sucked that bad today. I need to figure it out and I need to get better. That's how you deal with adversity, right? So if you're in a situation where you're not playing, maybe you got benched, maybe you feel like a coach has it out for you a little bit. Like, guys, those are all adversity, right? All those things are adversity. You have to know how to respond to that adversity. So like, I'll use the one where like you're not getting as much play time as you'd like. Cause I get a lot of comments, a lot of DMs from athletes, and that's a common question that I guess, like, coach, I'm not playing. How do I get more play time? And I give them pretty much the same answer every time, depending on who it is or depending on the situation. And like, generally guys, like, you need to understand like, okay, I'm not playing. Take accountability for where you are. I'm not playing because this other athlete, don't make excuses either. Even if it is daddy ball, don't make excuses. I'm not playing because I'm not good in these areas. I need to improve in these areas because that is what's going to get me out of this situation. This situation sucks, and sometimes life is going to deal you something that is really bad on a silver platter, right in your face. How are you going to respond to it, right? So you're not playing, that sucks. But how can I get out of this situation so I don't feel like this again? But if you're around people who are just like, man, they got it out for you. You should be playing. Like, dude, you should quit. That's stupid. You're going to start to believe it because you got all these voices in your head that are not giving you the best possible advice. I'm trying to give you some good advice here and where it's like, listen, I'm in this situation. How can I get out of it? What am I going to do about it? I had a bad game. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to get back to work, get back to the drawing board, figure out what went wrong. I'm going to learn from it, make sure it doesn't happen again. I'm not playing. Maybe I didn't play the whole season. Okay, this off season, I'm going to improve in these areas. So next year, I'm not on the bench. What are you going to do about it? You're just going to roll up into a ball and quit? Or are you going to be that guy that tries to figure it out? Because problem solving is a good freaking skill to have. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, third reason why I feel a lot of athletes quit football too early is you compare yourself to other players. This is in life, right? You guys, like, we're in the world of social media, right? You're watching this on social media. What do you see every freaking time you open up your phone? Some freaking a-hole like flexing his watch, I got this car and all this. It's like, it's rented. Probably spent his entire life savings on that watch just to flex on Instagram so he could sell you some course. So most of the time it's BS. And it's like, so I think a lot of players will compare themselves to like athletes who are BSing. They're talking about, I got this offer, I'm going on this visit, I'm going on that, when all of it's probably fake, all of it's not actually real. We made a video last week on fake offers if you want to check it out. And we talk about all that stuff. And I think a lot of athletes compare themselves and they're like, man, and they get really discouraged. Like, this will never work out for me. Like, I'm delusional. Like, I'm crazy. Like, I'm not going to play in college. And then they end up quitting because they get discouraged about all that stuff. Tune it out, you guys. Put the phone down. Stop watching what other people are doing and just focus on your game and focus on getting better. Same thing where if you're new to football, I think a lot of people quit football in their first or second year because they're in their first or second year and they're comparing themselves to players on their team who maybe have been playing for 7 or 8 years, right? And you're just like, man, they're so much better than I am. It's like, no, don't think of it like that. Stop comparing yourself to other players. Just stay in your lane. Just put these blinkers on, these blinders on, and just have tunnel vision where you're just focused on how can I get 1% better every single day and improve my game so I could eventually get to that level or eventually get to a level even higher than that. But you can't play this comparison game, you guys. You have to focus on what you need to improve on as an athlete and just stay laser focused on that. It's tempting to want to compare yourself. We constantly see a bunch of BS shoved down our Instagram feed or TikTok feed. Don't buy into it, you guys. Just focus on your game, stay in your lane, and I promise you'll still have that passion for football and will still love the game, and you won't want to quit football if you stop comparing yourself, okay? Now, before we get into this fourth and fifth thing, you guys, what we're going to talk about first is we are going to be traveling out to 15 different cities this offseason for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So, guys, if you're an athlete, quarterback, wide receiver, parent of a quarterback, wide receiver, and you want to train with us this year, go to that very first link in the description below. That's where you can get all the information and sign up. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona. Those first 3 camps I just listed, you guys, we only have 5 spots left in each one. So, guys, they will sell out. So make sure you take advantage of the fact that we have spots because they will sell out, and then we got to start putting people on a wait list, and generally people don't cancel our camps. So make sure you take advantage of the fact that we have open spots because we won't soon. And that goes for all these camps that I'm about to list. We limit spots so we can work with each athlete on an individual individual basis. So after Phoenix, we'll be coming out to Columbia, South Carolina. Then we'll be heading out to Seattle, Washington, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Nashville, Tennessee, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, Columbus, Ohio, Boston, Massachusetts, Salt Lake City, Utah, and finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So guys, we'd love to have you attend. Very first link in that description below. We hope we could see you there, okay? So now, let's get back to this. So fourth reason why so many kids quit football too early is they forget why they started playing football in the first place, okay? So this is, I mean, like, and this is something I got to check myself every single day sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'll give my personal example so I can maybe relate to you guys a little bit easier. I try to work my ass off every day. Like, I'm a dude who gets up at like, and if any of you know me personally, you guys know this about me, but like, I get up at like 3:45 every single morning, except Sundays I get up at 5. I get up at 3:45 and I am non-stop from 3:45 all the way until like 7 o'clock at night, maybe even 7:45. So that's like a 16-hour day. I'm putting in 14 to 16-hour days generally every single day, right? Work my ass off. I'm extremely tired, and I'm not complaining either because I wouldn't have it any other way because I love what I do. But just like everybody, I get a little tired. You know what I mean? I'm dragging some mornings. I get up and I'm like, man, I don't want to get in this cold plunge. Like, man, I don't want to go to the gym. But you know what? I think about, why am I doing this in the first place? I am doing this because the reason I am on this freaking earth is to try to help out as many of you as I possibly can through this game of football and set an example for you guys of what, you know, just to try to help you out and just generally be better men. That's ultimately what my focus is. And so I got to remind myself of that sometimes, and that's what I love to do. I love interacting with you guys. I love football. I love posting videos. Like, and I got to think about, like, man, I am so blessed that I get this opportunity. You know, man, like, I need to stop complaining. I need to stop whining. Let's get after it. And there are some days where I have to remind myself of that because I'm human, just like everybody else, right? So I know some of you guys maybe don't want to go to practice. You're freaking tired. Your body hurts. You're sore. You're tired of being on the bench. You're tired of, like, you know, coaches getting on you, whatever. And you forget why you started playing football in the first place. It's either one of two things. Either you love football more than anything and you enjoy it, you're really good at it, or maybe you want to play in college. So, like, guys, when you're feeling that way, think about those things. Think about why you started playing in the first place, because then you'll be like, okay, I need to calm myself down. I'm not going to make this decision on impulse that I'm going to quit football. Because I've been there too, even when I played football. Like, I was upset that I wasn't playing one year, and I was like, man, screw this. I'm done. I had a bad day at practice. I came home. I told my parents the whole spiel. I'm like, I'm done. I quit. I'm over it. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And they had to talk me off a ledge, and then I got some time to myself to think about it. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm not going to quit. Like, I need to figure this out, you know? Like, and that's what I recommend to you guys, because we've all been there before. We all, you know, have hard days, but you need to understand why you started doing it in the first place, and that will prevent you from quitting on impulse like that and making a massive mistake, okay? Now, mistake number 5, reason number 5, I guess you could say that people will quit football too early, is that they care too much about what other teammates think or other people think of themselves. So, like I said in the very beginning of this video, you can't necessarily control how other people act, how other people feel, how other people think. All you can control is what you can do, right? At the end of the day, that's all we have control over, right? What's my attitude? What's my effort? And just how do I handle negative things that come at me? Those are the 3 things that you guys can control, right? So if you have, I get this question a lot, you guys would be surprised. A lot of guys will text me like, Coach, I got really negative teammates. My teammates make fun of me. My teammates say that I suck, all this stuff. I'm starting to hate practice. I hate football. I want to quit. Should I quit? What do I do? Guys, again, like, I'm not BSing when I say I answer every single comment. I respond to most DMs that I get because I do. Like, that's part of my job. That's what I'm here to do, right? And I get these questions, and I get this one a lot. And the thing is, like, guys, you can't control how they feel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, if they're making fun of you and they're being kind of like a bully, if you will, like, feel bad for those guys, man. Like, that's how they live their life. Like, to make themselves feel good, they got to try to put other people down. Like, dude, that's a horrible existence. Like, what's going on in their life that makes them that unhappy? You know what I mean? Like, maybe they got problems at home. Maybe their parents are constantly fighting. You know, when you look at it in that way, you kind of are like, yeah, you know, that's just the way he is. You don't have to like him. You don't got to be friends with the guy. You don't got to be best buds with your teammates who bag on you constantly, but just ignore him, tune him out. At the end of the day, all you can control is what you can control. Attitude and effort. Don't let that stuff bother you. Stay focused on what you need to do. Put your best foot forward every day and put in the best type of effort that you can do. And trust me, that external crap that you got to deal with won't deter you from the goals that you have with football, whether that's just improving, whether that's getting a scholarship, whether that's just playing because you love it and you enjoy it. Don't let other people disrupt your love for the game and you make that impulse decision on quitting football, because you should not quit anything that you start. If you've given it your all, I want to say this too to end off the video, if you've given it your all and you've tried your absolute best and you've given everything that you've had, you battled through all this adversity and you learn from it, end of the season rolls around and maybe you're thinking about quitting to go pursue something else, fine. I'm not going to say just... What I'm saying to you is that don't quit on impulse. Finish everything that you start, because that's what you have to do as a man. You start something, you got to finish it. Do not be that guy that quits, because when you let the quitting in, you start quitting in other aspects of your life, and I don't want that to affect you down the road, okay? So I hope that makes sense, fellas. So guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope this video was able to help. Hope you guys got some value out of this. Again, if you guys have questions, comments, whatever, don't hesitate. Post those in the comment section below. We always enjoy interacting with you guys, and we'll see you next time, fellas.